Okay, so the people who have access to their microphones, please just give a very quick introduction of yourself, um, who you are, and um, where you're from, what you're doing otherwise right now in life. Okay, so I'll start uh, uh, with the person whose hand is raised, who I'm thinking is Hassan, Realme 5i. Hajra, would you like to start?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, as you know, my name is Hajra Ijaz. I'm working in a private firm as a business development head since 4 years. I'm 24 years, and that's all, I guess, for the moment.
And so, how come you're interested in? Are you interested in psychology? Are you interested in guided meditation? Or are you interested in terms of voice acting and that type of thing? What's your interest in this?
I have interest in so many things, I guess. But as referring to your question, yes, I'm interested in psychology side and not only the voice thing. Because the only reason that I started this thing, just to have some experience, some good exposure, and the knowledge to gain knowledge as well. Because by sitting 9 to 5, I don't have anything, apart from my job. So
Okay.
that's the main reason.
So, being part of an extracurricular, checking out what's going on, being a part of something, and seeing the psychology part of it. So, a lot of interest in.
Yes, I'm all okay with that too.
That's great. Thank you, Harsha. Hola, can you go next? Can you give us a short introduction of yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Khala Bashir from Azad Kashmir, and I'm a student of environmental sciences basically. But you can say, as my hobby, I really like to read human mind and the psychology behind the intelligence and everything. So you can say that it's my interest, basic interest in that, and that word meditation was really there to capture my interest in it. That's it, I guess.
Have you done meditation before? Guided meditation or meditation otherwise? Do you have an interest in that other than in prayer? But do you find time for yourself? And have you ever used any other application for guided meditation?
Not the application, but yes, some practices like a person close to nature
Hmm.
is always do meditation.
Hmm.
Like
So
most of the time, it's your solitude. Yeah.
so
Sorry, what do you?
solitude and silent meditations in nature, natural meditation, uh,
Yes.
quiet, uh, giving your brain some and body some time for quiet. So that's been your style so far.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Khala, and pleasure to have you here. And next person is HPPC. Who's HPPC now? Guys, you can change your names. By the way, you can change that. Um, HPPC, do we have you? I'm guessing this might be Mariam or Hassan or Zubeda. Who is it? Okay, maybe you can't hear or maybe you can't speak. So I'm going to go to the next person, Namira.
Yes, hello, assalamu alaikum to everyone. Well, I have done my master's in psychology and I'm doing practice of it also. Um, I do counseling for the patients, for the clients online, or I take the patients live as well. Well, I opt for this field because it was my first major interest. That's why. With that, I have also involved with couple of activities related to psychology and behavioral sciences. And if we talk about the meditation or stuff, so yeah, I've been involved in these practices for so long. I think for last couple of years, and I've been doing uh, and attending some of the meditation practices from YouTube and following some of the practices as well right now when I need it the most, when I'm being a bit sluggish or facing some anxiety type of things. So I used to do these type of practices as well.
And Namira, so everybody here, by the way, is from the Pakistan US Alumni Network. And
Yes.
Namira is going to be working for the next few months with me in the PON mentorship program. So she's going to also be liaisoning and executing on a greater role than a lot of the other voice artists, including things like, for example, I know this was a question I think that Hajra had, and I had spoken to some other people, some non-PON alumni. So this one is just a PON alumni in this meeting, but they had said they wanted their own creativity, and they said, we don't care about money or whatever, but if I'm going to do this, I want to be able to do and say the things I want to say and do have my creativity in the guided meditation. And I said that that actually is perfect and that works for me. And what I did was that I set up the topics, but I understand that there are going to be certain people who are going to really enjoy making their own content, and some people would like it, but they might need a little help or support in the fact that they're like, well, I have a less idea of what to say. I want to do the speaking, but I need some help with that, or can you write it for me, or can you help me get started? So yes, I can write it for you. Namira can also write your content for you. We can also have a separate call with you and discuss. And I've also given you links on where to start researching and seeing how people are doing it in other countries. So there are a lot of apps in English, and I've given quite a few names in the document I shared. This thing has not been done in Urdu before. Frankly speaking, this is the first time something like this is happening in Urdu. And although I'm very critical of everybody who says first time in Pakistan, but sometimes it is the first time. And I don't know any app that does guided meditation in Urdu. And actually, I had been wanting to do this for over a year. So I ran a survey. Oh, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. So my name is Heather Shishmail. I'm a Fulbright alumni. I went on Fulbright to Harvard University, and I studied human development and psychology from the Graduate School of Education. Since then, I've worked a lot with USCFC and with HEC, teaching a lot of standardized testing, and I'd been in teaching for many years, including head of department at TMUC, leading the University of London undergraduate programs. After that, I did a diploma in counseling, and I did a postgraduate certificate from King's College London in psychology and neuroscience of mental health. And so then I switched over to psychotherapy, and also I'm an advising partner in my wife's business, which is Pixel Art Games Academy. And Hassan, who's joined us, was actually a conference speaker at our conference just earlier this year in February, late February. So we have an academy. We teach people how to make games. We make games. We work on technologies, and I also work in psychology. So that's me. Around over a year ago, I did a survey of people living in Pakistan and tried to look at like their mental health and stuff, and what were the outcomes. And majority of the people, 74% of the people were stressed. This was about a sample of 144 people in English taken online, and a sample of another 40 or so people in Urdu, 30 people in Urdu. So 74% of the people were stressed, 62% faced worry, 47% were angry, and half of the people were thinking or looking to try for help with mental health. A lot of people were saying we're just going to ignore it, we're going to leave it alone. And there was a good 40% of the people, 30% of the people were interested in trying a technology solution. Okay, so this was a sample that I took last year, and then I started working on this sort of thing because people were saying things like it's hard to ask for help because you're afraid people won't take you seriously and you will look weak. People were saying, I'm not sure how this works, talking in terms of psychotherapy and psychiatry and psychology. And they said there are kind of unknown reasons in my mind about the usefulness of taking help. And someone said the two major things that discourage me are inaccessibility in terms of location of good mental health clinics and financial constraints. So there are definitely, because in the major cities we don't have so much a problem, but a lot of the people in a lot of parts of Pakistan, they don't know where to go, what are the good clinics, they have financial issues. And someone said पाकिस्तान का environment ही ऐसा है कि हर मोड़ पे आपको stress या negative vibes मिलेंगी, असल मसला उसको tackle करना है. These are just a few cherry picked comments. The idea was, I said, if I'm a young person, let's say, and I have some kind of mental health issue, our generation is still more educated than our parents' generation. It's not easy. If you go to your parents and you say, "Bhai, I'm feeling depressed," they'll be like, "Bete, namaz पढ़ लो, Quran पढ़ लो, ये क्या depression? Depression तो उनको होता है जिनके पास खाना नहीं है या ये है या वो है." So there's a big lack of awareness. Then I thought about the people who are in relationships. For example, let's say there's a woman who's in a bad marriage, but she can't get out of the bad marriage. Or maybe there's a young man who's in a kind of relationship which his parents have not accepted, and he's had a breakup and now he's gotten depressed. Or a young person who's suffering from joblessness. So where this person is already suffering from joblessness, they already feel there's such a burden on the society. They don't have money. The young person, you know how finances are in Pakistan, and they can't ask their parents and be like, "Bhai, mujhe, I need treatment, I need help." And the idare that are doing this for free are very few and far between, and there's a lot of lack of awareness. So basically, a baat ye hui that I decided that I saw that I'm also the chapter lead of Transformative Technology, which is a global movement that is looking to enhance and uplift people for well-being across the world. And I'm a chapter lead for that. You can contact me. We have meetings, and there's a global community that is doing this. And we do things like make this kind of technology. The technology that helps people transform their lives, that leads to mental health and well-being and psychological improvements, human enhancement, productivity, happiness. So it has been something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and hote huate, I started putting some more thoughts and time, and my wife started putting some of her developers on it. I did apply for a PON grant for this. It is not coming through. They asked me to resubmit, which I'm not, because we had a small grant, because they said that you can't pay PON alumni. And since I had contacted all of you, and I had already promised you a small stipend, and they said that, well, we're not going to pay PON alumni. I said, that's not fair. So they said, can't you rearrange? I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. And then they're like, okay, can you resubmit, and maybe, we can do something differently, and we'll get back to you in 3 months. I said, yeah, the thing with the technology industry is that, you plan way in advance what you're going to do and when you're going to use the resources to do it. So since we had already dedicated our resources and not taken another project because we were very confident. So instead, I went to my friends and family and I said, hey, I need to raise a little bit money. And, so people were like, sure, this sounds good. And so we're moving ahead. And all of you are on this call because I want you now to know that what we are doing and why we are doing it. Hold on a second. Zubaida is still having technical difficulties. Anyways, so the purpose of this call was that you guys are the first of all, people that I'm working with in terms of voice actors. So if there's some hiccups, please excuse me. And I'm sure that I'll be able to get it sorted. As I've told you, the sorts of things I'm doing, I may not be always available to respond to you right at that moment. But like I said in the document, I will respond to you in 1 or 2 business days or as soon as I can. And I will be there, and inshallah, Namira is going to be working with me in making sure that we can help you make your content. But the first thing you guys should do is just after this call, go and look at guided meditations at the apps that I've mentioned. Download them. A lot of them are free to use, but most of their content is premium and has a paywall. That's one thing right now that I'm not doing for this app, is that it's going to be, you know, for the next year or so, there are no plans to add any premium content. It's all going to be free, and it's kind of like a social service that we're doing, that we're helping people who need it and who can't otherwise get access. I know that in the severe cases, it's not as helpful, but in the low to moderate cases, these types of applications are very, very helpful. I've used them. I've had friends who've gone through divorce who really used them. I've had other friends who've used them. And, you know, I do my own focusing and meditation with my clients as well. And like who was saying, I practice a kind of a silent meditation every morning when I take sun for my vitamin D. So for now, I think that was just it, to just introduce ourselves, tell us what is going on. We'll have another meeting next week, and because one or two people are still had the technological issues, and yes, we are going to have a Q&A right now. And from my end, my main thing is that you have 60 minutes, but you've been told that majority of the subtopics should be around 7 to 12 minutes, medium length, right? Some will be short, some may be a little longer, but majority should be between this range, the middle range of recording. So recording shouldn't usually go more than 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. That's nice. So you should be picking somewhere between 5, 6 subtopics, and maybe a quick start, or 7 subtopics, and try to keep it that you work within one major topic and choose the subtopics within. Warna bahut khichdi mat jayegi, if you understand what I'm saying. So for example, if you're working on anger, right? Now anger has 11 subtopics. So if you're working on anger, it would be better if you take the 6, 7 topics from anger only. Because if you say I'm going to work on anger ka subtopic 2, frustration, anger ka subtopic 6, rising above anger, and then you're working on 2 subtopics of anxiety and 2 of worry, it will just become harder to manage, and make sure that we manage to get all the topics. So better it is to choose one major topics and then do the 1 hour of broken up meditations within that subtopic. And remember, meditation is such कि आराम से बोलना होता है. So ये नहीं कि आप जिस तरह मैं अभी ट्रेन की तरह चले जा रहा हूँ उसी तरह बात करनी है. You have to be as an example. Like I'm going to actually do a guided meditation with you guys. Okay. खुश आमदीद. आज हम बात करेंगे स्ट्रेस के बारे में. स्ट्रेस एक ऐसी चीज है जो ज्यादातर हमारी जिंदगी में सिर्फ मुश्किलात पेश करती है. स्ट्रेस हम सबको होती है. स्ट्रेस का सामना हर इंसान की जिंदगी का हिस्सा होगा. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm really not good at the Urdu one. I wanted to give you an example, and now I'll do an English one to share. But I just wanted to give you an idea of like the tone and like the samal ke like बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बोलना. Yes, you will have to plan के पहले क्या बोलना है. Don't just like that. थोड़ा बहुत plan कर लो. Write a few points down. You write it fully down, and even if you write it fully down, it doesn't matter अगर आपने exactly वही बोला. Because if you read something out, it becomes apparent that you're reading it. So, don't try to say it like you're reading it. Try to say it like you're doing it. So I'm going to share how I would do something which is like a guided meditation, but it's called focusing. And it was started by Gendelin in Europe. And it's like guided meditation, but it's a different type of mindfulness practice. This is one I do. Okay. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Just get a sense of yourself. Close your eyes or not. As you feel your feet planted firmly on the floor and your solar plexus on your seat, or if you're lying down, loosen your arms, feel your hands, your thighs, and start breathing deeply. Breathe in for 4, hold, breathe out for 4, hold. Breathe in, breathe out. I want you to pay attention to the top of your head. As you breathe in, feel that tingling in your brain, in the top of your brain. If you're holding any stress there or any worry, let it melt away. And I want you to feel behind your forehead, in the prefrontal cortex, the executive center, the decision-making center. Breathe in below your eyes. Feel the air going in your nose, down your mouth, through, down your chin. Feel it in the neck. And I want you to feel as you go down, your lungs filling up with air. Inhale and exhale. I want you to feel your heart, whether there are any strong feelings or emotions. Let those go. Go down to the center, to the pit of your chest. Let that go. And make some room as you enter your stomach. Put away these thoughts and worries and try to make some room for yourself. I want you to think of any problems that you may have and write them down on a piece of paper, either in your imagination or here, and push these problems far from you so you can make some room to focus on what you would really like to concentrate. Now, whenever you're ready, open your eyes and rejoin the room. Okay, so that was focusing and a breathing exercise. Okay, now I'm going to just see the questions that people have been asking. Hassan, there's no issue. Good work, Hassan. Yes, we're having Q&A now. Is there any deadline to submit the first content of 60 minutes? Reasonably speaking, it shouldn't take us more than 2 weeks to give the first draft, because there might be some revisions or something needed. And if you don't complete it in 2 weeks, that's fine. You can take 3, you can take 4. That's okay. But I do want to hear that if you're having any issues, or if there's a reason that you can't get to it until X number of days later. Right now, the plan is to do the beta launch in November and the final in December. So we have September, we have October, we have November, but please keep in mind that after you submit it, we are going to have to do audio engineering on it. We're going to have to add sound effects, background effects of like rain noises or like forest noises or wind noises and stuff like that. We're going to have to evaluate to see whether the content is of the type that we want or whether there are any background noises. And then we have to integrate it into the application. So I would prefer that you guys do your 1 hour this month. Also, you have to realize that depending on the type of work that you do, I might request if you would be willing to do another hour or maybe another 90 minutes, or I don't know. So keep in mind that if you do it early and then it's good, I might give you another topic to do. So this is a bit of a trial for all of us to try to see how it works. Like I said, you guys are, other than Hassan, and who I've worked with before, and Namira, who I'm going to be working with a little bit closely. It's the first time I'm working with you guys, so let's see how it goes. But yeah, I think we'll make a WhatsApp group that we can share resources like the one Hassan has shared, and I know he shared it with me on WhatsApp. And there are a lot of resources online of guided meditation. And in fact, there's so many that if you don't know कि content क्या करना है, आप कोई भी English वाला app खोल दो and see what they said in English on that topic, and you can say kind of the same thing but in your own words in Urdu. So it's actually not that difficult that you have to sit with a textbook and start writing your own content. The best thing to do would be to go see what someone else has done on that topic. Go to YouTube or go to one of the many apps on the Play Store or on the iOS store, or so many by the universities around the world. Monash University has a lot of cool stuff on it. So you just do a Google search, you'll find written stuff on it and videos on it and so many things on it that you just need to, because we're not reinventing the wheel. We're actually doing something that has been done in most every country, but has not been done perhaps in so many Muslim countries and like Pakistan. I'm sure even on the Indian side you will find quite a bit in Hindi, and but their meditation styles are a bit different from the Western mindfulness approaches, because they've been doing the Ayurvedic forms of meditations and all for the yogi style for many years. Right. So next question. Well, 3 to 7 is good and 7 to 12 is good. I'll make a WhatsApp group. 3 to 7 is good and 7 to 12 is good, because actually under 5 minutes comes under the quick start. So there are 5 topics in quick start. I should have mentioned those. Yeah. Quick start topics are breathe, sleep, anger, sadness, and anxiety. So you can think they're like subtopics only. These are 3 to 5 minutes and will be placed at the top. And then what you'll have is, if you choose, for example, anger. So when you click on the anger in the app, if I have any screens, I'll show you. So you will click on anger in the app. Inside anger, there might be 1 or 2 speakers, or whoever, a number of speakers who have spoken about it. So let's say if Hassan has spoken about anger, it will be like, maybe it will have Hassan's name, or maybe it will be by subtopic and it will have Hassan's name afterwards, and he'll have done the 6 subtopics of anger or stuff like that. So I actually think there should be variety, but I definitely don't encourage them to be long, and none of them should be more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes be bahut zyada. Maybe just the sleep ones could be medium or long length, because some of them are white noise. So there's just 5 subtopics in sleep. So if you're doing sleep, then yes, you can go with the 10, 12 minute or the 14, 15 minute, because you're like, bhai, main to kisi ko sulana cha raha hu, so I want to do a 15-minute thing. That works. But majority should be short and medium. Okay, I've written that point number 8, guidelines. Preferences are primarily for short and medium. Okay, and queries ka ye hai ke basically I'm not right now approving the topics, because there are 2 people who have given me topics. Let me open up the Excel file. One is Hassan, who's done the breathing, sleep, anger, sadness, and anxiety. So again, I think I've said in this meeting that rather than take 5 major topics, I'd prefer if you take 1 major topic and do subtopics within it. Because I don't want everyone to have a general thing. For example, if you're doing sadness, I've given the subtopics, and I want you to, rather than like 5 people give me on anger and sadness, which is the major topic, actually, other than quick start, when I go to sadness, I don't want it to be the title of the recording to be sadness. The title of the recording should be an overwhelming sadness. The title of the recording should be 7 minutes of it's okay to cry, or 4 minutes of it's okay to scream. And there is like that, it is part of us. We need to scream sometimes. We need to, so you can do that. And I want to give you full creativity over your okay. I want to give you full creativity over your thing. So for example, don't worry about, okay, have I done it right? Sure, you can. I think all of you more or less sent me a recording early on, and I felt you all kind of have an idea of what this is. थोड़ा बहुत आपको अगर कम idea है, I have given you guidance on to check out those apps. Go check out those apps, and you'll have an even better idea. Examples of other apps, and so this is on page 7 of the document, and it says this. So go check out these apps. And I am creating the WhatsApp group that people can help each other and answer each other. People with a psychology background are myself and Namira, but I know that Hassan has also been doing some work in psychological awareness and has a lot of idea about this as well. So yeah, any other questions? You're welcome. I can see that you're talking, but we couldn't hear you. So thank you, everyone. And I'll make a WhatsApp group and I'll share this recording as well. Take care. Khuda Hafiz.